job. I'm unemployed.
What's happening right now in the job market is real and people are not prepared for it.
Wake up. AI is here. If you're not paying attention to this, then you will be left behind.
Job just fired me. I went in today all nicely dressed like I am. And, they sat me down and told me they were letting me go.
Salesforce fired 700 people and said AI would do the work. Amazon fired the whole operations team so that AI would do it. IBM, they stopped hiring for roles that AI could do it. But guess what? Some of these companies that went all in with AI, they are regretting it. Entry jobs in tech dropped significantly. And the reason is not the economy.
Friend who runs an accounting firm, his accounting specialists are horrified by the fact that it answers tax questions with 95% accuracy. So what happens with all of these people who used to do this for a living? It can do it immediately and cheaper and better. The IRS did a study on this. They sent out one business to 20 different accountants and they asked them to file tax returns. All 20 tax returns were different. So it's not whether it's right or not, it's just how right is it? And so if it's right enough, then it can replace a lot of work. I've got a friend who runs an accounting firm. His accounting specialists are horrified by the fact that it answers tax questions with 95% accuracy. So what happens with all of these people who used to do this for a living? It can do it immediately and cheaper and better. The IRS did a study on this. They sent out one business to 20 different accountants and they asked them to file tax returns. All 20 tax returns were different. So it's not whether it's right or not, it's just how right is it? And so if it's right enough, then it can replace a lot of work.
It is that companies realized for a lot of junior roles, AI is just a lot faster and cheaper because it doesn't need a salary. And I'm not even talking about like niche roles in tech. We are talking roles in customer service, in content writing, data entry, basic coding, graphic design, legal research. I wouldn't advise to do that for legal research. And you're sitting in there thinking, no, that's not gonna happen to me. Girl, in this channel, we're all about being proactive and planning for the future, planning ahead, because we just never know.
Salesforce just said that they regret firing 4,000 employees because they mistakenly thought that AI could replace them. That's not the only issue, and I've been saying this since the beginning. This is how you know you and I are smarter than some of these executives.
But here's where it gets interesting. Some of the companies that went hard on AI, they are walking it back. They are regretting it, which is good. You laugh. They found that the technology works for tasks, doesn't work for judgment. And when companies replaced the entire teams with AI, the customer experience collapsed. Complaints went up, trust went down. One company in UK saw their satisfaction score drop 30% in 4 months after replacing their customer service with a chatbot. And the cost that they thought they were saving evaporated. Why? Because not only they had to rehire people, but they lost clients. They had to invest into rebuilding their reputation. So AI took jobs. AI couldn't do the jobs properly. There is a version of AI that goes entirely badly, but there is also a version that goes right, where AI is successfully taking over people's jobs.
Best of luck in your search and whatever new endeavor is destined to be next for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Okay, cool. Well, thank you again for your time this afternoon, and I hope you have a great weekend, Jasmine.
Thank you, you too.
And here, it's about how you position yourself right in the company. Because if your reputation is that you do something very quick, AI can do it faster. If your value is that you follow process really well, you're a good follower, AI can do it better. If your value is that you produce outcome at a high volume, AI does that. And this is why juniors and graduates are disproportionately more affected.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take 20% of my time to try and put myself out of a job. Because the thing is if you don't adapt, you will eventually be out of a job. The question is whether you're gonna be the one who controls that automation or somebody else will. And so let me talk about what the future of business is gonna look like, at least in the medium term. The medium term is gonna be BYOS. So what does that mean? It's gonna be bring your own software, or BYOA, bring your own agent or agents. And so when you approach a business, and this means that also there's gonna be tremendous earning power, even at the employee level, which is, shit on by the gurus of the internet. But if I can approach a business and say, I am your entire marketing department. And so famously, maybe we'll post it up here, Anthropic has one person in their marketing department. How is that possible? Now, of course, they get tons of PR. There's other things that I think help them out. But the big point here is that they've got one guy who's doing it. Whether that's just marketing lingo or not, we can be sure that that one person is still doing a ton of stuff.
I read somewhere that Meta people are valued based on how well they use AI in getting better outcome, which was very interesting. AI without decision, without right instructions is pretty useless. So if you are the person who knows how to leverage the tools better, you are irreplaceable. The platforms that you need to learn right now is Claude, GitHub Copilot if you are in tech, Midjourney, FreePic, Hixfield if you are in creative work. Pick the AI tools that apply to your industry and learn them. Learn them properly. Become a prompt engineer for that specific tool. And communications, relationship, management, strategic judgment, creative direction, emotional intelligence. Those are not just soft skills anymore. Those are the hardest skills. This is why they say sales representatives is the hardest to replace with AI, because it's all about the emotional touch. It's all about that relationship that you build with the customer. Like, you cannot close a big deal between a human and AI. The biggest lesson that I take from watching people getting fired from companies is that this is no longer the time where one person can rely on the company where they work and that's the only income and they can support their families, and the wife can afford to be a housewife and their kids can afford to go to the best schools and do all of these extra activities after school, and they get to have this big house with a garden and a pool and just from a normal 9 to 5. It is no longer the age. Unfortunately, it's 2026. The world has evolved into this matrix, I would say, where you need to build your side hustle, no matter who you are, especially if you're a woman. And of course, if you're a man, it's just given. So, yeah, don't rely solely on your employer. Don't trust your job because risk just became bigger with AI. It does not have to be a whole business that you start. It can be a freelance skill. It can be a content channel that you're building on the side. It can be a little e-commerce store that you're building on the side. It can be like a little investment every month that you are accumulating over time. Something that generates value outside of salary. You just have to these days. Build something alongside your job.
You are not using AI at all. Some of you guys are AI laggards and are like, I don't need it. No one's ever going to replace humans. And good for you. I love that for you. It'll make it easier to beat you, but, do you? There are people today that use fax machines. There are people today who still count on their fingers. It doesn't mean that it makes them more likely to compete. It means that they are competing and still winning with a disadvantage, which means that they have to be so much better in other arenas, right? And so it would be like not getting on the internet for your company. Are there companies right now that do not have websites and make money? Absolutely. Do they make as much as they could? Probably not. And so this is an absolute promise to you, is that throughout all of human history, humans plus superior technology beat humans with inferior technology. It worked from the Stone Age to the Bronze Age. It worked from the Bronze Age to the Iron Age. It worked from the Iron Age to the Titanium Age, right? Or the Aluminium, which I think my Aussies say. To what you can see it very naturally. And so also I want to give this as a little bit, like a tiny bit of stress relaxation for you. As long as it is humans plus tools against humans with other tools, then you are still competing against humans. And as long as that game still goes, you should feel endlessly confident. The day that you try to beat the machine, you will lose. And every time we've tried to say machines will never beat us at chess, machines will never beat us at Go, machines will never beat us at insert X, they always do. Just like autopilot on planes, everyone is very against it. Now, there's going to be pushback on a lot of AI stuff, but not because of its function, but because of people's emotions around it.
I'm on a journey to find my people, my community. So if that's you, hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you think in the comments. Join the club. That's it. See you in the next one. Bye.